Today I'm going to tell you how the rates you pay for your shipments are actually calculated. In this video, I'll break down how trucking industry supply and demand, the urgency of your shipment, your freight's length of haul, inclement weather, and your freight's final destination all influence the price you pay for your freight. First off, how does supply and demand influence your price? First, we got to look at truck capacity. How many trucks are there available in your market that can ship your freight? The second factor is loads. How many other loads are you competing against? How many other shippers are there in your market that also need that truck? So the first factor is truck capacity. When there are more trucks in the area, you're gonna have more options to choose from. You, as the shipper, have the buying power. You have the advantage of negotiating with those carriers. You're gonna be paying less. When there's fewer trucks in the area, you're gonna have to pay more to buy one of those trucks to haul your loads. Then the drivers have the buying power. They get to negotiate rates. They're gonna take the highest paying load going the direction they're looking to head, which in turn means higher freight costs for you. Oftentimes we break it down into a load to truck ratio so that we know how many trucks are available to how many loads there are that the trucks could take. How does the urgency of your shipment affect the price? How much time can you provide to pick up a shipment? The more time you give, the cheaper we can oftentimes work out freights. It all goes back to supply and demand. If you're waiting until 2 hours before you close to book a truck, you're only gonna find 1 or 2 available trucks that can still pick that up today. But if you're able to give more lead time, such as a week in advance, that's a larger pool of carriers and drivers we can choose from. And this gives us more time to negotiate rates and find you the lowest price and the best service possible. Another way we can save you money is through backhauls. Backhaul is a driver that is looking to get back home. Maybe he's got a consistent customer that he's always shipping for that sent him out to the middle of nowhere and he needs to get back to where his home location or home base is. And your freight is gonna help him do that. The more time you give us to work on it, the better price we can find for your next load. How does your freight's length of haul impact the price you're gonna pay? If you have a longer haul, there's gonna be much more efficiencies gained there. He's not gonna have to stop and get unloaded and reloaded. And so he's gonna be able to put more miles and be more efficient with his time. Drivers are looking to be efficient with their time. If their wheels aren't turning, they aren't making money. Under longer hauls, they're able to keep moving and keep earning money. Shorter hauls, they're having to stop, wait to get unloaded, and then go figure out where their next load is coming from, make sure they have the right equipment to haul that load and get to the next shipper. So there's efficiencies gained when you have those longer hauls. Another thing to consider is how many stops are on a load. If a driver's having to make frequent stops and do partial deliveries or partial pickups, that's time that he's utilizing instead of getting to his next load that he's gonna have to be compensated for. So it can save you money by combining several loads together, but the price is gonna go up slightly versus a one pick and a one drop. Minimum rates, something else to take in consideration. Drivers, just to turn on their truck, go down the street, make a quick pickup for a local shipping company, they're gonna charge a flat fee. Usually that's around $250. Sometimes there'll be day rates where we're gonna pay a driver a certain fixed amount for a day. Doesn't matter how much work he gets in, this is what he's gonna get paid for that day's worth of work. These come into consideration when there's shorter length of hauls because drivers aren't able to get as many miles in, their wheels aren't turning, they wanna get compensated for their time if they aren't able to get in as many miles as they would have on an over-the-road shipment. An over-the-road shipment is a long distance length of haul. Oftentimes, this is where the driver doesn't make it back to his home base that night. How does inclement weather affect the price you're gonna pay? Any unpredictable weather event can cause increased freight costs, whether it be a snowstorm, high winds, tornado, hurricanes. All of these natural occurrences can affect the price you're gonna pay. Drivers wanna be safe and aren't gonna wanna risk damaging their trailer or, in worst case, flipping over a semi. So when we're moving freight, drivers don't want to head into a tornado and the price going to those high risk areas are gonna be increased when these natural disasters or inclement weather situations pop up. We gotta be careful and take those extra costs into consideration. How does the freight's destination affect your price? Something to take into consideration. Where's the next load that driver is gonna pick up? Is it right down the street, right next door? Or is it 50 miles away at the next major city? Deadhead is something that can add up and needs to be taken into consideration for your next shipment. Again, this goes back to the drivers wanting to make sure that their wheels are turning so that they're making money. If they're not under a load, then they're not making money. Another thing to consider is the type of equipment that you're using. If it's a power-only driver that's hauling one of your trailers, well, where is he gonna find his next power-only load? The more specialized your equipment, the longer the driver might have to travel to get to his next load. So that's something else that factors into the price of your shipments. Whew, we made it, barely. I can't tell you how many takes this took, but we'll roll out the blooper reel later. Now that you understand how freight and shipping costs are calculated, check out the blog below, where Jason will give you a more in-depth look into this topic.